Kids that have learning disabilities are taught to think they're not smart. Many children with learning disabilities, or what I prefer to call neurodiverse learners, have different gifts and talents that aren't recognized in most of today's schools. But getting good grades isn't a sign of intelligence. It's a sign that children can function within a system or a box that was designed decades ago. My name is Kyle Feingold, and I grew up with dyslexia and ADHD. I'm the executive director of Results Learning, tutoring and academic coaching company that specializes in dyslexia, ADHD, and executive functioning that I founded 17 years ago. Most recently, I co-founded Guiding Bright Minds with my wife. We're an organization with a mission to change the perception of neurodiverse learners so that they're recognized for their strengths. So in today's video, we're going to look at why schools send signals to neurodiverse learners that they're not smart. Look, neurodiverse learners are given a label because they have gifts and talents and strengths that are accounted for outside of the box. In many cases, these kids are being stifled by being judged inside of the box. Look, research shows that 1 in 5 students in the United States are diagnosed with learning and attention issues, including ADHD and dyslexia. That doesn't include another almost 10% who have autism and other neurodiversities. So in addition, there's a significant percentage of students who haven't been diagnosed with a neurodiversity, but they're simply out-of-the-box learners and thinkers. Look, out-of-the-box or neurodiverse learners get 10 times more negative feedback in school than kids that fit neatly into the box. These same kids' parents often get 10 times more communication from school with negative feedback about their children. Look, did you know that 48% of people in prison actually have dyslexia? That's right, 48% of the prison population actually has dyslexia. I think there's a logical connection and a reason for that. Look, when you have a neurodiverse brain and you're labeled with a disability, you don't fit inside the box well. And when you don't, you're shamed. You're shamed for things like not doing well on tests. Having more difficult time than a neurotypical student in engaging in content that doesn't mean a thing to you. They don't understand why they have to do busy work and they question it. Some of these kids aren't able to sit still, and they're consistently told they don't try hard enough or don't give a consistent effort. Look, many don't have good handwriting or spelling, and some may not be able to read as fast or as accurately as their peers. They have difficult time getting started on things, particularly when they're not interested in it. They lose materials, they might have missing assignments, late assignments, and ultimately, most don't get good grades. Look, outside of the classroom in our schools, many kids have difficult time making and keeping friends, and the list goes on and on and on. Shamed at school, and many times for not complying with the system, a system that doesn't fit them. The system crushes our kids' confidence and self-esteem. Look, we're raising over 20% of our population and putting them through 12 years of school if they don't drop out first, only to program them to feel not as smart as their peers, and actually in some cases, many report they feel stupid. Look, this incredible population of neurodiverse learners and thinkers question what their strengths are, and not only whether they can be successful in school, but whether they actually have the tools and the strengths to be successful in life. Look, neurodiverse children and learners are outside of the box thinkers. They have big picture ideas that some others just don't have. They're wildly creative in unique and special ways. And they have the ability to see and solve problems that many others can't. Look, when they're interested and passionate about something, there's nobody that can do it better. So I want you to take a minute and imagine with me, what would be the outcome if we recognize these incredible learners and thinkers for their strengths, their talents, and their superpowers? Look, I believe that these children, soon to be adults, can be our next generation of contributors, change makers, and leaders in a world that desperately needs change. 12 years ago, there was a study of 300 millionaires. And in that study, 40% of those millionaires, those randomly selected millionaires, had dyslexia, ADHD, or other learning diversities. Look, over 30% of entrepreneurs in the US today have been diagnosed with dyslexia and ADHD or ADHD. Some of the most successful people in our world today are out-of-the-box learners and thinkers. Did you know that 3 of the 6 sharks, including Damon, Barbara, and Kevin, all have dyslexia and some have ADHD? And then there's folks like Michael Phelps, Justin Timberlake, Leonardo da Vinci. And then there's one of my favorites, Sir Richard Branson, owner of Virgin Galactic, who didn't finish high school. In fact, there's many successful people who dropped out of high school due to their experiences because they didn't feel they could succeed in an environment where they felt they were only recognized for what they couldn't do. Look, there's David Karp, CEO and founder of Tumblr, the world's most used blogging platform. Simon Cowell, Jay-Z, Drew Barrymore, and the list goes on. Look, when you listen to these people, and maybe people in your life who experience school through an out-of-the-box lens, listening to their stories about school is horrifying, and living through them is even more horrifying. Look, today in our schools in our country, the primary source for dropping out of school is failure in academics. So as you can see, the mounting evidence that traditional education doesn't lead to success in life is there. It continues to mount. And there's no reason why neurodiverse children, that is neurodiverse children of today or neurodiverse children of the future, have to have traumatic school experiences that tear them down in order to have success. But yet we're an education system that's built for a specific kind of learner. This system recognizes neurodiverse learners and thinkers for their weaknesses, not for their strengths. And we continue to try and fit them in a box that they simply don't fit them, or that they don't fit in. Look, imagine if these incredible learners and thinkers didn't get torn down. What could be possible for them, for our country, for our society? Look, we need to stop seeing these learners for what they can't do, but what they can do. They just have a simple right to feel valued, just like the rest of our society. But did you know that 5.6% of adults in the United States identify as LGBTQ? And we know and we see every day on the news that the acceptance of this community and the LGBTQ community, their rights are growing in our society and rapidly expanding. But somehow we're not doing the same thing at the same pace for neurodiverse learners and thinkers. So let's stop trying to fix these kids and fix the root of the problem. Look, if the pandemic of 2020 has taught us anything, it's taught us that we can adapt our education system quickly. Imagine a world where school had a focus on educating students to thrive in real-world skills, using their strengths and creating competencies for college, the workforce, trades, and entrepreneurship. Schooling students in a way that fits all kids and teenagers' needs, not the other way around. Look, I ask you today, how can we design an education system? And how can you be a part of creating change so that over 20% of our population can stop being considered part of the problem, but fostered in a way to be part of the solution and part of the change that our society and our country needs today? So thank you for watching this video. Make sure to check out my vlog on executive functioning, how to relate to your out-of-the-box learner. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.